Hello and welcome to this exciting new video where I'm going to run CyPerf agents that are primarily designed for x86 based CPU set like Intel's and AMD's to run on ARM based CPU systems that you would find in Macs and some other kind of operating systems. Before I go into it, I would like to give a huge shout out to Mark Shong, Keysight's application engineer that helped run these things in his own Mac. Thank you, Mark. Now to the video. We have some prerequisites to run it on macOS. Firstly, you need to install QEMU. So Mark used brew install QEMU, brew install libvirt, brew install virt-manager, and brew services start libvirt. So these are some of the services that you have to install and start. You also need to download the Ubuntu ISO image where you would run this CyPerf agent Debian package. So for this one, we install the 20.04 LTS. But if you're watching this video after July 2025, you can also run CyPerf agents in 24.04. So once that is done, download CyPerf agent from support.xiacom.com. By the way, some of these links are already provided in the description, so you can look at that as well. And once you have all these downloads ready, at step 4, we start the QEMU session. One important note is that this video would only show you how to run a CyPerf agent in this ARM-based system. We already have a controller and a server agent running in cloud. If you need tutorials on how to run them in cloud or any other systems, there are links that can guide you to do that as well. So let's now go to the Mac. Executing this command would open this virtual manager, and here I'm going to do a installation. The most important step here is this CPU architecture. As you can see, since CyPerf Debian is based out of x86, I'm going to select x86_64 as the system for my Ubuntu, and that would enable the Debian package to be installed in this Ubuntu ISO. We move forward and select the ISO that we have already downloaded in this Mac, and we choose it, and then of this machine, how much memory it would have, CPU, disk space. We can create a custom storage for this. So this is what we decided to do for this. So you can see the format is QCOW2. And we have a name that we give, and we give some capacity so that it can store all the configurations that are needed. Creating storage volume is done. It takes a few seconds. Once that's done, we would add some other characteristics. So we will go and move forward with it. We have a storage now, and we will use this network selection. This is very important. So you can see in the network, we have user mode, bridge, and Mag VTAP. Each of them has its own performance advantages. For this setup, we kept it simple with user mode networking. And you can read about some of these networking and its advantages over various documentations available in internet. It's especially allows you to, some of these modes would allow you to go for hundreds of GBs, millions of packets per second traffic. So if you want to generate that kind of performance, CyPerf can definitely do that. You have to put enough CPU cores, obviously, better quality NICs, and use some of these networking modes available to get to that super high scale performance with application and attack traffic. Moving on, we will put some other features on this particular system. So we have the CPU's 2 cores. We are not going for performance. The configuration type, we have seen various options available. For CyPerf Debian, we chose Nehalem, and that worked fine. But if you have some other specific preference, you can always choose it. Once done, we will check the boot option. We will obviously use ISO, so CD-ROM would be the preferred boot. And then we are going to add 2 NICs. One NIC should already be there in user mode networking, but we would add an additional NIC. This is something we do with CyPerf agents to have a separate NIC for control plane communication and the second NIC for data plane communication. This deployment took around 30 minutes for Mark in his Mac. It might take more or less, but overall should not take more than an hour. Once you have the deployment, you can then log in with the username passwords you have provided. So once you are logged into the system, you would install the Debian package, the CyPerf agent Debian package that you have probably already SCP'd into this Ubuntu system. It's a standard installation, apt install the package name. Takes around a minute to install it, but now you have a CyPerf agent in an ARM based system that is ready to generate traffic, all applications, attacks, and scale to to any other ARM-based systems or any other systems in cloud, on-prem, or any other locations where you have installed it. Post installation, one thing to look at is what kind of interfaces are there. If you remember, we had user mode networking and two interfaces. We can see them, and both are up and have some IPs that we have got it. You can change now the net plans to have the IPs to statically have some static IPs or some DHCP IPs. It's always a good practice to do that. So that's what we're showing you here. So by default, the net plans have both these interfaces with DHCP, and it had got IPs from the local Wi-Fi network that this Mac was connected to. Now that my agents are ready, I'm going to connect this to the controller. I am running a controller in a cloud that you can see in the backend. I use this API CLI called CyPerf agent controller set, the IP of the controller. This initiates a port 443 communication. And you can also see the management and test interfaces are correctly set. They can also be changed using several CLIs. You can explore the CyPerf agent CLI. The moment the connected command came in, you can see in the backend there is this new agent IP 10.02.15 that has come up. This is indeed that Mac agent that is running in that ARM-based system. I have my test ready. It's a simple test. I will start with a simple test with just HTTP traffic. I'm going to go to this icon, the yellow exclamation icon, to add this agent. So I'll add this agent. The management IP is 10.02.15. So this would be now becoming my client agent that's going to generate traffic through this public IP that you can see in the .network 1 to my server agent that is sitting in cloud. I ran the test. The test took some time, and we can see that the traffic is going through. I can see some positive TXRX traffic. I can look at different statistics to see whether my HTTP requests are going through, whether they're getting successful. I can even come to the Mac terminal and look at the net stats to see whether my interfaces are really seeing those traffic. And if I refresh, you can see these bytes are going up continuously. Then I can go back to my CyPerf statistic to see all the other metrics that are being shown. So that's kind of my demo in a nutshell. You saw how easy and simple it is to run CyPerf agents in ARM-based systems, and you can expand this example to various kinds of ARM-based architectures that are out there. As long as you're able to install QEMU and change the CPU type, you will be able to run them, and not just run them, get very high performance out of them. I wish you all the best, and please look at the descriptions for a lot of helpful documentation on this project. Thanks a lot for listening.